Parliament passes bill scrapping duty-free car imports for MPs. Full rationing withdrawn for police, emergency services, says Prime Minister. Export disrupted as manufacturing sector faces fuel crisis. Trump unhurt after shots fired at White House Correspondents' Dinner. Those were the headlines. Good evening, viewers. I'm Riti Prova with English Bulletin. The Parliament has passed a bill scrapping long-standing privilege allowing lawmakers to import luxury vehicles without paying customs duties. Law Minister Mohammad Asaduzzaman moved the Members of Parliament Remuneration and Allowances Amendment Bill 2026 in the House on Sunday, and it was passed by a voice vote. The Cabinet had earlier approved the amendment in principle and in final form at its meeting on Thursday. A Cabinet Division statement said the move was taken in view of the current economic realities. With the bill's passage, Article 3C of the Members of Parliament Remuneration and Allowances Order 1973 stands repealed. Prime Minister Tariq Rahman said full rationing imposed for vehicles of police and other emergency service agencies has been lifted. He was speaking in Parliament today responding to a point of order raised by Kumilla 6 lawmaker Monirul Haq Choudhury. He said the decision has been taken to ensure normal law and order and smooth public movement. Earlier, the MP alleged that police had reduced night patrols, citing full rationing, leading to an increase in criminal activities and posing risks to public safety. According to the Prime Minister, the decision was implemented 2 days ago to maintain stability in the law and order situation and ensure uninterrupted mobility for citizens. The shortage of gas and electricity has reduced production in the manufacturing sector to at least 25 to 30%. Making such observation, analysts said if the fuel crisis continues for a long time, the economy of the country will fall in threats and unemployment will increase. Middle East crisis has become a major obstacle for the industrial production in Bangladesh. The main source of export of Bangladesh, the ready-made garments sector, mostly depends on generator run by diesel, furnace oil and LPG. The scenario of long queues in front of fuel pumps has been reduced following the fuel price hike. At the same time, the supply of fuel from the depots has increased. The pump owners said they are now getting more fuel supply than the previous days. The motorbikers are not being provided fuel without fuel pass. As a result, unexpected rush of motorbikes and cars has been reduced. The Executive Committee of the National Economic Council, ECNEC, has approved 14 development projects involving an estimated cost of Taka 13,445 crore 41 lakh. The approval came at the 10th ECNEC meeting of the 2025-26 fiscal year and the second meeting of the current government held at the Cabinet Division at the Secretariat on Sunday. Prime Minister Tariq Rahman presided over the meeting. He directed to decrease the project cost. The projects are aimed at boosting infrastructure, healthcare and economic resilience across the country. Among the approved projects, 5 are new, 5 are revised and 4 have been received time extensions. Education and Primary and Mass Education Minister Dr. Ehsanul Haq Milon said the young generation are making bad comments on ministers and teachers with hopes to become viral, which is beyond ethics. He made these comments during a workshop organized by the University Grants Commission (UGC) in capital's Agargaon to mark World Intellectual Property Day 2026. The minister said there is no research at universities despite having huge budgetary allocations. Dr. Ehsanul Haq Milon asked the UGC and the universities to realize long gap between HSC exams and university admission. Mentioning that the government is embarrassed at the question paper leak rumour, the minister urged all not to go after rumours. The Anti-Corruption Commission ACC has detected assets of former Land Minister Saifuzzaman Chaudhry Javed in 3 states of India. According to ACC, Saifuzzaman Chaudhry Javed has bought 9 apartments in various cities in West Bengal, Haryana and Uttar Pradesh. The ACC has received a copy of tax cards in the name of the former minister issued by the Indian Tax Authority. US President Donald Trump, First Lady Melania Trump and high officials have been rushed out of the White House Correspondents' Dinner at a hotel in Washington, D.C. after a gunman fired shots and tried to breach security. The incident took place at around 8:34 p.m. local time when the dinner was served. At that time, the US President was seen having a conversation with Wei Jiajiang, the president of the White House Correspondents' Association, and mentalist Oz Perlman, who was scheduled to present a show at the marquee event at the Washington Hilton. President Trump and the First Lady are unharmed. The suspect is under arrest and identified as a man from California. At a press conference a couple of hours later, Trump described an assailant carrying multiple weapons, charging a security checkpoint before being taken into custody. Now a short break. We will be back soon with bodies of a father and his son recovered from 2 locations in Tongi of Gazipur. No negotiations with US under pressure or threats, says Iranian president. Welcome back. You're watching ATN News. This is English Bulletin. Prime Minister Tariq Rahman will visit Joshua tomorrow to inaugurate and lay foundation stones for several development projects. The visit is expected to accelerate development in the district. He will travel from Joshua Airport to Ullashi in Shorsha Upojela and take part in the re-excavation of the historic Ullashi Canal linked to Shohid President Ziaur Rahman. After returning to Joshua town, the Prime Minister will lay the foundation stone of 500-bed building of Joshua Medical College Hospital. In his trip, Tariq Rahman will also visit King Faisal Islamic Institute and address a public rally at Joshua Eidgah Moidan. State Minister for Foreign Affairs Shama Obaid Islam said that Bangladesh expects justice for the brutal killing of 2 Bangladeshi students in Florida. She said Bangladesh is maintaining close communication with its mission in Washington, US State Department, FBI and all relevant agencies regarding the matter. Bangladeshi PhD students Jamil Ahmed Limon and Nahida Sultana Brishti of the University of South Florida were brutally killed allegedly by another former student of the university. Shama Obaid said she had spoken with both families regarding the repatriation of Limon's body and the recovery of the body of Brishti. Police have recovered the bodies of a father and his son from 2 separate locations in Tongi of Gazipur early Sunday. The deceased were identified as Mohammad Sohail Hussain and his son Saqib Hussain. According to police and locals, Saqib's body was found inside their residence in the Bonmala area of Tongi, while his father's body was later recovered from a nearby railway track. Law enforcement officials said Saqib's body bore signs of a violent killing, with his mouth reportedly stuffed with cloth and both wrists severe before being strangled. Sohail's body was found on the railway line with visible injury marks suggesting a possible train impact. Police have taken the family's elder son, Sohan Hussain, into custody for questioning. Now, news around the world. Iran's President Masoud Pezeshkian has said that Tehran will not enter into negotiations with the US under pressure, threats or siege. He said this while talking to Pakistan's Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif over telephone on Sunday. The conversation covered regional developments, ongoing Iran-US negotiations in Islamabad and issues related to a ceasefire, says Mehr news agency. According to the Iranian president's remarks, Pezeshkian criticized the United States' conduct in the region. Meanwhile, Iran's Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi will visit Islamabad tonight following the trip in Oman. From Pakistan, he is scheduled to visit Russia. Raghu Rai, the legendary Indian photographer who documented Bangladesh Liberation War, died in New Delhi at the age of 83. He was often described as the man who photographed India's soul. Over a career spanning more than 5 decades, he became one of the most prolific visual chroniclers of contemporary India, documenting both defining historical moments and the quiet rhythms of everyday life. Rai's path of photography was serendipitous. Trained initially as a civil engineer, he discovered the medium in the 1960s through his brother, St. Paul. At least 14 people, including minors, were killed and 38 others injured in a bombing attack on a highway in southwestern Colombia. AFP reported that the incident occurred on Saturday evening in a restive region of Colombia. The attack took place ahead of the presidential election scheduled for next month. Colombian President Gustavo Petro wrote on X, "Those who carried out this attack are terrorists, fascists and drug traffickers." The explosion on the Pan-American highway severely damaged buses and passenger vehicles, and several cars were overturned due to the force of the blast. Before ending the bulletin, the top stories once again. Parliament passes bill scrapping duty-free car imports for MPs. Full rationing withdrawn for police emergency services, says Prime Minister. Export disrupted as manufacturing sector faces full crisis. Trump unhurt after shots fired at White House Correspondents' Dinner. Bodies of a father and his son recovered from 2 locations in Tongi of Gazipur. No negotiations with US under pressure or threats, says Iranian president. That's all from the newsroom for the moment. Thank you for being with ATN News.